bell rolls is the reporter thrown into the secretive world of the Forex Super Model, where nothing is as it seems. Beware the techno monk, and steer clear of Professor Code and his two assistants. Give the senior trader a wide berth, and don't expect any sense from the risk manager.
Good morning, I'm Professor Code. This is the Forex Super Model daily briefing for Friday the 1st of October 2021. The time is just coming up to 04:30, 4:30 in the morning, GMT. Asian session coming to a close, European session firing up, our lunchtime, North American session. Right, yesterday, Thursday the 30th, last day of September, we had a positive opposed driver in the yen at plus 207. Front and back door flows mainly coming out the euro at minus 167, out the dollar at minus 95, and the pound was the positive rock at plus 55. Activity plus or minus 262. Intra-week then, most relevant because this is from Monday the 27th, open to about 15 minutes ago. We've got a positive opposed driver in the dollar, plus 437. Front and back door flows mainly coming out the pound at minus 399, out the euro at minus 219, and the yen was the positive rock at plus 181. Activity plus or minus 618. Right, so yesterday we had a strong yen driving, mainly driving funds out of the euro and the dollar, and over the week we've had a strong dollar driving funds out of the pound and the euro. So that's where we are. Intraday then, this is the Asian session to about 15 minutes ago. We've now got an unopposed negative driver in the pound, at minus 43. No backdoor flows. The opposing positive flows mainly going into the dollar at plus 20, into the yen at plus 17, and the euro is the positive rock at plus 6. Activity plus or minus 43. Right, we'll stop it there and write up the flows. Right, we've written up the flows then. So the euro is strong except against the dollar, the yen and the Swiss. The yen is strong across the board. The pound is weak except against the CAD. The Swiss is strong except against the dollar. The CAD is weak across the board. The AUD is weak except against the pound and the CAD. The NZD is weak except against the pound, the AUD and the CAD. And the dollar is strong except against the yen. So what have we got then? We've got yen strength across the board in the Asian session. We've got CAD weakness across the board, and take your pick in the middle. Right, so what's going to knock it about today? We've got German retail sales, we've got Euro CPI, and we've got US PMI manufacturing. So we've got retail sales basically, and some inflation data from Europe and US. And bear in mind that today, October the 1st, is China and Hong Kong holiday, so markets will be closed there, so just bear that in mind. Right, we'll stop it there and write up the asset classes. Right, we've written up the asset classes. So US dollar index basically right near the tops, so it's been pumped right up, the dollar index and the dollar. Gold in theory won't like that, but it's 0.33 from the floor. It's come up a bit, gold, so that's something to bear in mind as well. Oil is 0.15 off the high, so it's 15% off the high. Oil's strong at the moment. Wall Street S&P Tech taken a tumble yesterday. Wall Street 0.28 from the floor. S&P 0.36 from the floor, and the Tech is doing better. It's 0.42 from the high. So Wall Street and S&P below half marks. Tech above half marks. Right. US 10-year bund. These are the prices of the bonds. So we've had this big fall in prices, rising yields in both areas, and then it's just recovered slightly. So we're 0.31 from the floor, 31% off the floor in the US. So yields are coming off a bit, and the bund likewise 0.26 from the floor. Relatively speaking, European yields are a little bit stronger relatively to the US 10-year at the moment. Copper's been soft. It's now 0.19 off the floor, so it's 20% from the floor. And US steel is soft as well, 0.18, so roughly the same, 18% from the floor. Right, so let's get rid of that and see what's going to happen today. As we said, Friday. Bear in mind, as we said, you've got this China and Hong Kong holiday, market holiday today. Right, so let's have a look. We've got dollar, euro, yen, pound in the majors. And if we look at, we've got German retail sales, so we've got data there from Germany. We've got euro CPI, and we've got dollar PMI. So that's the noise, the data noise, and Hong Kong obviously, and China out. Right, so you've got this situation where you've got this, let's grab this, you've got the flows. All this week we've been having basically, we've ended up with a positive driver for the dollar. So the dollar's been strong, as shown by the dollar index really, and the main where it's been going out, the opposing negative flows, is out the pound and out the euro, and the yen's been relatively strong off the back of the falling equity transmission as well. So that's in yesterday. We didn't have the dollar strength driving, we had yen strength driving, and that's, as we say, off the back of this equity drop yesterday. And today in the Asian session, which is sort of like firing us up for today's trading really, we've got the pound is the unopposed negative driver, so it's weak. So it's weak in the majors to all else, and the dollar's strong still, and the yen's strong, and the euro is the rock. So that's where we are. So this idea of it's quite possible we're going to see further pound weakness. Now that's what we would imagine, because an opposed negative driver is one of two things. An opposed negative driver is either the start of a big ramp down or a floor. Now it's quite possible we're going to see further falls in the pound complex, and we say that because the way, if you look at the flows for the week, the pound is the negative secondary driver, and yesterday the pound was the positive rock. So there's a possibility it could go either way. There's a question mark there. It's not clear. The noise will decide basically what happens in the short term, and it's clear to say that if you look at the Asian session in terms of flows, you've got CAD is being sold off to the exclusion of all else, and the yen is being pumped up. Now the CAD is a strong link really. Most people believe in the CAD, the oil transmission, and oil's pretty high at the moment, and CAD's coming off. So you might see a fall in oil, a fall in CAD. So you want to be looking out for falls in negative on the CAD and negative on the pound. And that being the case, it's likely you're going to get this sort of situation where you need to think where the flows are going to go into. Probably the yen. So the yen is likely to be positive. So that's where we're looking at. So CAD yen. So you want to sell the CAD yen potentially, and sell the pound yen. So CAD yen and pound yen short. There's something to watch out with today, depending on what happens with the data noise. So that's a sort of heads up to the potential place where the flows will go via our data. So hope that was useful. See you tomorrow for the weekend review, which is the data cycle and the asset classes, etc. And if not, see you Monday for the daily briefing. Thank you.